Hey everybody. I recently did a video for season one, the cards that I think are the top 10 cards in season one, and it consisted of. I'll just show it really quick in case you haven't seen it. Um, these 8 cards, and then there were 2 cards from Abujosai. This one, because of his force serve and his draw ability, and then this one. Draw a card. If you're receiving, add and your attackers from Abujosai, add +2 to your receive. So those were 2 of the cards. So I thought, I'm going to build a deck that just uses the top 10, 4 of each of the top 10 cards. But since this is a Karasuno only, it couldn't synergize. So I had to either cut this or cut the Abujosai. So I cut both of the Abujosai cards and I added these 2 in, or 4 of each of these 2 to get my copies. So I'll quickly go over this. So this is the top 10 cards, making a deck out of it. So I'll try and have it be quick. So the deck works here's this Daichi. He has a receive of 4, and if this card's in the receive area, you may pay 2 guts to draw a card. So as I explained, just drawing extra cards is good, especially when it has a really good function like receiving for 4. If this card is the top card of the attack area guts and you play an attacker other than Hinata, it can't be blocked. So I really like this card. I think it's good. It has good synergy with Kageyama, who gives him +1 attack, and he has +1 toss. So these 2 cards give him 5 attack. For the deck to work, I needed to synergize. I needed someone who could attack off of this Hinata, who would be at the top of the guts, that had 3 or less attack, so it could synergize with this. So I picked this Azume because if this card is in the attack area and Nishinoya is receiving, you may pay 2 guts to add +1 or receive. If you do, return this card to your hand. So it's special is really, really good because not only are you getting bonus receive, but he comes back into your hand. And he also can, if Hinata attacks first, he can attack next and become unblockable. And I do run Nishinoya for receiving. So ideally, Nishinoya receives for 4, and then he can receive, and he gets the bonus off Nishinoya for 6. So the synergy is really good for there. If Nishinoya is in the receive area, then he actually comes back into my hand if I pay 2 guts. So you can recycle him, which is good. So I'd run 4 of all these cards. And then I kept this Sugawara in. He's one of the top 10 cards just because his stats are so good. He has the highest total stats of anyone, 8. No one else has that much, so he's a very balanced card. 2 block is good. 1 toss is really, really good. 3 receive is really good. And if he goes on top of Nishinoya, he can he's at a 5 receive, which is respectable for sure. And if he has to attack, he can become unblockable and he can get a +2. So 4 unblockable is pretty good. So all these cards work really well together. So we're at 12 special cards for each of these. So we do have, I'll have to zoom in. If you're receiving, search your toss area guts for Kageyama and draw it. Ideally, Kageyama, this is the best toss card in the game. So the ability to use it 8 times in a game instead of just 4, using it more than normal is good. So searching and drawing it is exactly what you want. And then if you do, you may search for another special card that isn't this card and draw it. So your other special cards you can recycle and use again, which is awesome. So it's a 2-for-1, and then it gets our very important Kageyama back into our hand to be used again, which is what we need because we only have 4 of him of this version. Let's look at this. Draw a card, which is good. You're always cycling a card, so you get an ability and draw a card. And set your receive character to 5. If it's already 5, set it to 7 instead. This is just kind of like it's a backup in case you can't receive for whatever reason. This deck is pretty good at receiving with this Daichi and then Nishinoya, but if you received and then next turn received here, you're at 4. You could set it to 5. So he's 5, and then you get +2. So that's actually 7, which is really good. Like 7 is pretty much the peak. If someone's hitting 8 or 9, they like win all in. So yeah, that's good. It just has good synergies. If I was building this deck under different rules, I probably wouldn't add this, but since I think it's one of the top 10 cards, that's why it's in. Do your best. It's another add +1 to your receive, which is good because receiving is, if you can't receive, you can't do anything else. And it cycles a card, so it's 1-for-1. And then I needed, since I cut out the Abujosai player, so I could use Karasuno only. I added this one just for the card draw. If this card is in the toss area, you may pay 2 guts to draw a card. And it's a Kageyama, so it has synergy with this special. And it has the toss and it has draw. It's just pretty good. It kind of fits what we're doing. So these two, they're not like, I wouldn't say they're top 10 cards in the game. They're very good. They're probably like, if the top 10 are S tier, like these are A tier, in my opinion. So yeah, this is, I think it's a really cool idea. I don't know how well it would work because it doesn't do like amazing in any one area, but it does like really, really well in every area. So I don't know if that's enough to like win a lot of games, but I thought it was pretty interesting. So I'll save this deck list. If you want to try it or if you'd make different changes, let me know. All right, thanks.